Today, we're going to dive into something that feels like it's straight out of science fiction, but it's very, very real. Autonomous robotic swarms. We're talking about the machines that organize themselves.
Just picture it for a second. A massive warehouse that completely manages itself, with thousands of little machines zipping around in perfect, harmonious sync. Or think about a disaster zone, where swarms of robots can search for survivors in minutes, getting into places humans just can't reach. This isn't some far-off future fantasy. This is a new era of automation that's being built as we speak.
Okay, so that's the big promise. But how in the world do these machines actually organize themselves? Well, it all starts with a completely new way of thinking about automation.
And here is the absolute game changer, the most important part of this whole thing, without a central controller. Think about that. There is no big boss, no master computer telling every single robot what to do. And that is huge, because it means there's no single point of failure that can bring the whole operation to a grinding halt.
And you know, what's so cool about this idea is that we didn't invent it. Nature did. We're basically just borrowing the playbook from systems that have been working for millions of years. I mean, think about an ant colony, or a beehive, or a flock of birds. Each individual is just following a few incredibly simple rules, but together, as a group, they create this amazing, complex, and super intelligent behavior. Swarm robotics is just applying that exact same logic to machines.
And that right there, that changes everything. Instead of pouring all our effort into building one super genius robot, the intelligence actually emerges from the simple interactions between all the members of the group. The swarm itself becomes the intelligent entity. The system is the brain.
So you can see, this is a radically new approach. Let's break down exactly why these swarms are so fundamentally different from the kind of robots we're all used to.
You know, the magic here isn't some impossibly complex programming. It's actually the opposite. It all comes down to a few very, very simple rules. All each robot has to do is 1. Sense what's going on right around it. 2. Communicate with its immediate neighbors. And 3. React to those small, local changes. And somehow, out of all that local awareness, this incredibly coordinated group behavior just emerges, all without a master plan.
And when you compare this to traditional robotics, well, it's like night and day. A system with one central controller is brittle. If that one brain fails, the whole operation just stops, dead in its tracks. But a swarm is resilient. If one unit goes down, who cares? The others just adapt. They reroute, they reorganize, and they keep going. The system literally heals itself.
So this decentralized, no-boss design gives you 3 massive advantages. They're resilient because there's no single point of failure. They're incredibly scalable. If you need to get more work done, you just add more robots to the team. And, as we said, they're self-healing, constantly adapting to problems in real time without any need for a human to step in.
Okay, so this is not just a cool theory on a whiteboard. This technology is already being used out in the real world, in everything from commercial logistics to literally saving lives.
Let's start with warehouses. This was one of the first places where swarm tech really proved its value. I mean, if you think about it, a modern warehouse is just controlled chaos. It's a high-pressure, constantly shifting environment. The old ways of doing things, fixed conveyor belts and big robotic arms, they just can't keep up with the demands of e-commerce anymore.
But swarms, they thrive in that chaos, and the results are pretty dramatic. Suddenly, orders are being filled way faster, with far fewer mistakes. The warehouse can operate almost 24/7, and the robots themselves are dynamically deciding who should do what, constantly optimizing the flow of goods in real time.
I absolutely love this way of looking at it. The warehouse stops being this rigid, mechanical factory, and it starts behaving more like a living system, an organism that's constantly adapting and responding to what's going on around it.
Now, let's take that same principle of adaptability and apply it to an even higher stakes scenario, a disaster zone. Because in a situation like this, the unique abilities of a swarm can truly be the difference between life and death.
Just imagine a collapsed building, a place that's way too unstable and dangerous for human rescuers. You could send in a swarm of small drones. In just minutes, they can create a detailed 3D map of the debris field, they can pinpoint heat signatures, listen for sounds, and automatically coordinate their search paths to cover the entire site much, much faster than any human team could ever hope to.
In any emergency response, time is the single most critical resource you have. Every second matters. By working with a kind of superhuman speed and efficiency, swarm robotics buys back those precious minutes. And those minutes are what save lives. It's really as simple as that.
When you step back, you realize that swarm robotics is way more than just a clever engineering breakthrough. It actually represents a fundamental philosophical shift, a big move away from control and towards coordination.
This is really the core idea of this whole explainer. The real transformation here is about coordination instead of control. For about a century now, our technology has been defined by a command and control mindset. You have one central brain telling everything else what to do. Swarm robotics takes that entire model and flips it completely on its head.
Yeah, the old model was built on rigid hierarchies and central planning, on trying to predict every single problem in advance. The future is about emergent rules and local adaptation. It's a profound shift away from trying to predict the future and moving towards building systems that can simply respond to it, whatever it holds.
And this philosophy is already expanding far beyond just warehouses and drones. We're going to start seeing hybrid teams, where humans and swarms collaborate on really complex tasks. We could even see entire cities start to manage traffic and energy from the ground up, rather than from some central dashboard in a control room.
So when you boil it all down, the true revolution here isn't about creating a single, all-powerful AI. It's about something much more elegant. It's about enabling groups of simple machines to achieve incredibly complex goals just by learning how to move together. And that, of course, leaves us with a really fascinating question. What will we build with them next?